Hey guys, I'm Ashley Horsfall and I write For Getting Through Tough Times on Healthy Place. And today I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about the role that depression can play in a romantic relationship. I've had about a handful of relationships that have ended based partially, not completely, on my own depression or factors related to it, like communication. Sometimes I would feel scared to express my needs, things that I wanted out of the relationship, my expectations, things like that, out of fear, and also because I had really low self-esteem. So sometimes I would find myself wanting to bring up an important issue, but then actually feel like I'm not worth the trouble to the other person. And if I tell them what I expect of them, they won't be interested in me anymore. Even if we'd been dating for close to a year or longer, in a serious relationship, I would feel like I was worthless. There are a lot of things that tie into this idea, not just my depression, but also the way I was treated by this other person, any sort of emotional abuse, things like that. And a lot of the time, it just didn't work out communication-wise, and I would sort of drift off somewhere and not have the guts to say, hey, I need this from you. And then ultimately those things kind of end up in an argument, or eventually things kind of go too far in one direction, and eventually you can't come back from that in your relationship. I also at times found that I just wasn't motivated to make the relationship better. Sometimes I would just not want to make the effort to plan something, to go on vacation together, to meet this other person's family, to even emotionally sometimes I literally did not have it in me to express myself, to be there for that other person. And I found that this was true in a time when both me and this other person were both depressed, that we just couldn't make it halfway from either side. And when one person can't get there on their own, it's hard enough. But to have both of us unable to work towards a common ground, to help each other, to support each other, it just can't work. And it's a shame, but it's just the reality of having depression, is that sometimes you can sink into these spots where it's a little more difficult to facilitate relationships, whether they're romantic or otherwise. Of course, relationships can be successful if one or more person involved has depression. It's really, a fact, like so many different factors are involved. So it's a little bit different for everybody. I would love to hear your suggestions about dating with depression, or how you've been able to overcome some of the obstacles posed by depression in your romantic or dating life.